Hello everybody, what's up? How you doing? CRWC, Cedric and Cedric here. We'll be answering viewers, that'll be Zemo, and we'll be also reviewing AEW Collision that happened yesterday. Well, it was on TV yesterday, and so there's some things about Collision. Somebody is getting better reins of it, but before we get into that, let's talk about something a little more interesting, which would be Zemo's response. Because honestly, that's a lot better.
Definitely.
It is. And Cedric's got the reins on that. So, go ahead. Let's give us an earful, girl.
Okay. So he starts off, thank you for the response.
It's like, you're welcome, man.
Personally, I do not judge wrestlers based on appearance. I like certain wrestlers because of their personalities and their ring skills. Bryan Danielson, Ishii Tomohiro, Lethal, Briscoes, Lord Steven Regal, and Eddie Guerrero did not need muscles to get over with fans.
Yeah, if everyone's got muscles, then, I get what the wrestling business kind of went for. But even as Cedric has said back in November during a fit of frustration, and I knew it and stuff. You watched NWA back in the day in the 80s and whatnot, you didn't see muscles on wrestlers, really. Mm-hmm. You watched WWF or WWWF or the early, or what became WWF Attitude and all that. Them people barely had muscles. They might have been big, robust, looking guys, but they weren't like Andrade or Ultimate Warrior or, Hogan. He had his alleged 24-inch pythons, but most of the people that people loved the most didn't have muscles. Ted DiBiase, he didn't. Bret Hart was toned, but he wasn't ripped. Mm-mm. Shawn Michaels, yeah, at best he looked toned, but never ripped.
Nope.
Diesel or Kevin Nash, whichever you want to go. Razor Ramon, toned but not ripped. Steve Austin was never ripped.
Nope.
At one point he looked like, okay, yeah, toned, got some muscle, but predominantly, he was highly toned and big, but nobody was ripped. So, Ric Flair at one point slightly ripped, then not. Once he got he's just wrestled, all that went away. He just had straight up cardio and endurance. But yeah, just saying.
I agree on the reasons why people go to work for WWE, but I still find it frustrating. WWE is too controlling, but AEW has given wrestlers too much freedom. In my opinion, TNA Impact Wrestling is a good middle ground. They let their wrestlers have creative freedom to a certain extent, but the company has a clear order and structure. Sadly, TNA is obscure and overlooked by most mainstream wrestling fans. The same applies to NWA, MLW, NOAH, Progress Wrestling, and even New Japan Pro Wrestling. There are other promotions, but they are too small, so do not get the recognition they need. Honestly, I have a love-hate relationship with WWE. If it wasn't for WWE, I would not have become a wrestling fan, as they were my first exposure to the sport when I was very young. Me too, dude. However, I have grown to dislike them over the years. Me too, dude. And not just because of the booking. The last straw for me was their deal with Saudi Arabia. It made me realize just how corrupt the company truly is. I actually stopped watching WWE for 2.5 years, but on occasion, I do watch a match or clip. At first, I only watched certain bouts out of respect for deceased wrestlers, Brody Lee, for example. But I started to watch more for certain wrestlers. I know it's hypocritical of me, especially after all I have said in the past, but I realized that I do not have to like WWE to be a fan of some of their wrestlers. That's true. If only they were not a pathetic excuse for an entertainment company. I hope the allegations about Chris are not true. Kylie is a sweet young lady and a good wrestler, and I hate to think she could be mixed up in something so vile. If it is true, any respect I have for him will disappear. Cedric, we all know you are a Tai Chi fan. Do not deny it. Man, don't be coming for me.
Look, Look, he knows what I know and others know, and that you vocally admitted. You said you like Tai Chi. He's completely 180 from how he was. He doesn't have go home heat, and you couldn't wait to watch a Tai Chi match.
Oh my goodness, you just making this stuff up.
I'm not making it up.
Just making it up. I don't know how Tai Chi is now. He could have completely reverted to the BS of old.
Before we stopped watching New Japan,
he was even. He hit neutral status.
Okay, so you just want to omit.
What am I omitting?
Look. If I say this about a wrestler and you don't disagree, you must agree.
Wait, what? No, that is not true.
That is true. That's how I see it.
You can see it that way all you like.
Look, I said Tai Chi. I was like, we was watching a match in the G1 Tai Chi was in, and I was like, he's come a full circle. He looks good. The fans aren't chanting for him to go home. His matches are looking great. And you was like, yeah, that's true. And then I made the mistake of calling out the moves and where they came from. And you're like, all these guys have stolen moves. And I was like, and eventually I had to say, for anyone to come up, if you're going to be a wrestler and everything you do has to be absolutely original, every wrestler out there is going to have one move, and that's all they can do to the match, because somebody came up with the arm drag, the suplex, the body slam, and all that. So that's still a stolen move.
Listen.
No, you don't worm your way out of this.
Listen, if I see a woman that has on a pair of black boots in a certain style, I'm like, dang, I like her boots, and I go and get them in the same style but brown, that's one thing. But if I see her in the boots and I go get her entire outfit, that's different. He stole a complete move set from a man. That's different.
He did.
That's different than taking a move.
And then he started, mix matching other stuff, and he was doing well, and you was liking it.
I told you, I admitted that he was doing well. Mm-hmm. I didn't say I liked him. I was certainly not sitting there saying, man, I can't wait to see a Tai Chi match. I'm just bubbling over with excitement.
Okay,
no.
So okay.
No.
I apologize. I obviously read the room wrong on this, because I thought the poster in your room and the pictures on your phone.
I'm gonna kill you dead.
What?
I posted. I ain't spent no money on no damn poster, especially not a Tai Chi.
Okay.
Must spend money on the poster. It's gonna be me.
Y'all listen to a woman that's trying to save face.
I ain't trying to save face.
We can move on to other stuff, because she's just gonna lie to you. She's a Tai Chi fan. And she hated him at first. It was so bad. Then
Keep
she started
it up.
liking him.
I'm gonna hate him again.
So I have dominion over your affections for one person or another.
Just like Adam Cole has dominion over your ability to eat chicken.
I cannot deny that. Oh yes, I will suffer just to be right now. I will do that.
You still not right.
I'm right.
You still not right.
Okay. Is that all he had to say?
Yeah.
Okay, nobody else had anything else to say. I want to thank each comment that he leaves. He owns Global Elite Future. He does matches there. And let's see, Ray FUBAJ Hub Extra. It's a mouthful, and I think I said it right, but yes, I want to thank all the comments that he leaves. I know there's some, cut and paste, and it might be some kind of generator or something he's using, but at least he's leaving something, so I'm thankful, because that was, his consideration that he would do that for even my channel, so I'm happy about that. So thank you. Now we're going to get into AEW Collision, the review of that. It happened January 7th, 2024, because it would be silly to do one last year, 2023.
Yes, it would.
Especially
since last year, 2023, the show didn't exist.
There you go.
It didn't exist.
There you go. And look, I got to say this. I was listening to Ric Flair, not Ric Flair, but I'm reading the screen. I was listening to Jim Cornette review Miro and Andrade El Idolo, and I got to admit, it makes me smile when the things that I'm pointing out, that he's pointing out, like the major things. Basically, like the match was ended at the right spot, but it's still, but they didn't do it because stupid booking or somebody's in control of something. The kick was just right after the distraction, and they wasted it. And that Miro and his wife, it just don't make sense what's going on. In any case, it's silly booking should be the next one. Mm-hmm. In any case, so this event, AEW Collision opens up with Ric Flair. I didn't know what was going on. So I was like, Flair comes out, and then Sting makes his entrance. And then this tag team match, I was like, oh, okay. So now I wrote tag team, Darby Allin and Sting.
And you knew Flair wasn't wrestling.
I knew that, but I thought he was going to come out, do a promo, talk about something, or I don't know, maybe, second somebody, or I don't know. He came out. It's Ric Flair. You don't know what he's going to do until he do it. And so.
I don't think he do either.
What am I out here for? Everybody? Somebody? No, he's not there yet. I think he will expire before his mind goes.
I don't mean his mind goes. Just some people don't put any thought in anything. They just get out there and start doing stuff.
That's what we're used to, but that's not what he does. I can tell you right now, if he was booking, things would be so much better.
I'm sure he don't want that headache.
Nah, he don't. Now, unless he was a tyrant about it. It's like, you know what? I'm not going to stress. I'm going to chill. You don't want to do it that way? You can leave.
Yeah, that's the best way to be relaxed.
I'm gonna be a Collision guy here. I'm gonna book for Collision. So if you want to be on Collision, stay here. Listen to me. If you don't, you can go to Dynamite or Rampage. I don't care.
My way or no way.
There you go. Have fun with life. I don't know you. I'm just booking you. So it was Darby Allin and Sting versus the Workhorsemen, and I thought, wow, how are you gonna just job out the Workhorsemen like this?
Because they on ROH.
I admit, JD Drake can lose some weight, but at the weight he is, he moves great.
He does.
So it's just a review, wins and losses, what we doing. Not going blow by blow, but we might point out things that we can remember that was worthwhile. But for this, Sting pins JD Drake after a middle kick to the back, and then the reverse DDT and a pin. Okay, and I know that this right here is an indictment. This is because AEW is an indie company. It's indie mindset, indie thinking, almost full on indie wrestling. And the reason that's bad, is because you drown out the millions that would watch just to keep the few 100,000 that can't wait to laugh at it. And do they enjoy what they see? It depends on what they see. And indie companies are not promoter and booker driven. They are fan driven. Please the people, please the fans. Don't give them what they need to see. Do what they tell you they want to see. That's the problem. And listen, and you can tell when it's an indie crowd, and there's not many in the audience that are overly or overtly, which are both overly and overtly indie fans. It's usually a small scattering of them, usually in the front rows. And usually you can see the yahoos yelling and whatnot. You can almost see the look on their face. There ain't nobody home. But at one point, the fans chant, they want Sting, while Darby's getting his body beat on by two people. I wrote not bright, and an indictment on this company being all indie lovers, considering they know how much of a work wrestling is, that they know Darby could pop up, run over, and tag Sting for their momentary enjoyment. Because if Darby just made a quick comeback, rolled away, ran over, and tagged Sting, they'd be like, yay! Yeah. Sting would have got in, and then the cheers would have died down a good bit. And the people who are wrestling fans would have taken notice that they chanted that, and Darby bounced himself over there and made the tag. That's the bad part. So Darby, because in the indie show, I've watched a few, That's what would have happened. So Darby, being I think a better professional now, I'm not going to give you what you want. We got to do this match the way we see this match to be done. So that was good on Darby. Congratulations to him, the Workhorseman, and Sting for not catering to the indie ilk and doing what they need to do professionally.
Yeah.
But then when he finally tagged Sting in, the crowd weren't happy because they didn't get what they want when they wanted it. That's how you want to get away from that crowd. You want to be with a professional wrestling crowd. WWE has a professional wrestling crowd, but they do so much stuff that tick people off and bury certain people that they get an average of 2 million when they would have kept 4 to 6 million. That's a big difference. And that's WWE failing, and they heavily outdo AEW, which AEW started off with the 1.5 and 6 million and up to 2 and 3 million at small points. But then people saw what they was doing and was like, what's this crap? So that's what happened. Now, we get, honestly, I think first match of the night. The Continental Crown title match. I'm not sure what to call it.
The belt is the Continental Crown, but when they showed the graphic on TV, they called it the Continental Classic. So I don't know.
AEW got to get your stuff straight. So Continental Classic Triple Crown title match.
Something.
Throw it all together.
Yeah.
Junk keep it.
And a partridge in a pear tree.
Now, check this out. I was very concerned when they first started the tournament. I was like, okay, Eddie's putting all his belts up, so that means he's going to win it. But then he lost his first 2. And I saw the push they were giving Goon.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought, okay, Eddie is in there with people that just keep beating him. And I know Tony Khan doesn't give a damn about Ring of Honor. He just bought it for LOL's sake. But I was concerned because I was like, he needs to win it. You don't put your belts up and then lose. So I was like, what is Tony Khan doing? New Japan's probably going to be really ticked off.
Mm-hmm.
Because it ain't about Ring of Honor. It ain't about that new belt. You've got the strong open weight champion. And
be passing off to somebody else.
Yeah. I was like, okay. You want a sour relationship just like Eric Bischoff did. All right, have fun.
They had Eddie have a Tanahashi start to the tournament.
Yes. Tanahashi was doing that when we started getting back into New Japan.
Lose the first 2 or 3.
And then Okada just don't lose anything. He was their goon.
Mm-hmm.
And the people were sick of Okada because of it.
It's a half-ass effort.
Yes. So, notes in this match here. There were corner rapid chops that ended with Beretta protecting his face best that he could to block a ridge hand chop that was directly right at his face. And Kingston blasted him too.
It was a receipt.
Yeah, that's what it looked
from a chop to the neck.
And it was a weird chop to the neck. It was
an overhead chop to the neck. Overhand, excuse me.
And it was bad.
Mm-hmm.
And you could see Kingston's face like, okay. You can see it like
swift and immediate.
Kingston, his forearm was hurting. If you watch that chop, his forearm was hurting because he didn't have an injury. But not his forearm, but
his hand.
Yeah, his hand was hurting because he chopped forearm.
Yeah, chopped bone.
When we looked at it, like like when he hit Beretta's forearm, it knocked his hand or arm into his nose. But I was like, should the damage have been that much? So I was like, okay, maybe that's the work, because what Trent was showing in terms of bleeding, I'm like, I don't think you put your guard up and someone knock your forearm into your nose, it should be messed up like that.
It depends on where it hit, though.
He was bleeding from someplace near the eye, but not. I was looking for the cut, and it was hard to tell if that slash on his forehead was where he cut himself, or it just where the blood ran up while he was on the mat and it just kind of went to the crease of his forehead. I don't know. But it was a lot of it. Just kept going. It just kept going. I was like, good grief. At the end, now look, the match was great.
It was a fantastic showing.
I can't give it less than 4 stars. Emotionally, I want to give it 5, but I can't go on emotion. And I'm like, nope. At maximum 4 3/4, or no, 1/4. Yeah, 4 1/4. My bad. I got my numbers mixed.
It just proved what Cedric and I have been saying all along since we started watching Beretta in New Japan Pro Wrestling. He has got all the potential in the world to be a singles title holder and star, but he keeps getting wrapped up in his BS tag team best friends, and he is not going to go any further until he shakes Chuck Taylor loose.
Yep. And you don't want to feel that way about somebody, but at the same time, it's like, and I wanted to be a Chuck Taylor fan when I first saw him in New Japan. I really did, because he had a devastating arsenal and everything made sense. But then seeing him here, I'm like, I don't want to know this dude anymore.
He doesn't show anything, and they're a tag team, but they don't even have a percentage of the tag team synchrony that Beretta and Romero has.
Exactly.
And every time Beretta and Romero team up, it just falls right back in line. If he's going to be a tag team, that's the one he needs to be in.
Yep. Roppongi Vice. That's where he needs to be. And I remember in New Japan, I think that's what they're trying to hold on to, is that they said, look, Rocky was like, we done won all the gold. We've done it this amount of times. Now, you need to go on and do your singles career and whatnot, and that's what they did. And New Japan didn't use Beretta right. And that soured me on New Japan, not because they didn't use him right, but to show that your weight divisions are even fake. That ticked me off. I was like, how can I have respect when he's like, oh yeah, I'm a junior. I weigh less than 220 pounds. Far less, but I'll be a heavyweight because I'm moving up. I'm like, man, you got to be kidding me.
Yeah, I don't know this to be true, of course, but outside looking in, it looks like Taylor latched on to Beretta maybe to pull himself out of the indies, because that's what happened.
Yeah. And now they work in the greatest indie company on the planet. WWE became the greatest sports entertainment professional wrestling company on the planet. It's a big difference. Like I said, I see how AEW could dwarf WWE, but they're never going to do it anyway, so it don't matter too much what I say. Eddie won with a back fist that stunned Beretta, and he hit him with a Northern Light bomb for a 2 count. The crowd came up. The crowd was into this match.
Oh yeah, the whole time.
This match caught my feels. I was all emotional about this match. Eddie his performance was just spot on to me. Loved every second of it. I was like, he hit the Northern Light. It was like, actually, I call it a Northern Light slam, not a bomb. And then I wrote the crowd was up. And the momentum was perfect for him because Eddie started taunting and stuff, and the crowd is like, yes, and all this. And they hadn't seen this before, not unless he did it on the indie scene somewhere. But then he picks him up and he hits a vertical drop Northern Lights bomb. And that's the one I made for myself in Fire Pro because I just like the way that one looked.
Remember Beretta hitting sections.
Yes. And he got the pin that way. And my only note was, underrated match.
It should not have been a second match on the card.
It should have been second to last. It was just that was just beautiful. Oh crap! Wait a minute, I'm trying to scroll and this mouse ticks me off. Okay. In the back, Statlander had a reptile on his shoulder during an interview with Willow. as they claim to want more matches to keep the role that they started, I guess, Friday on Rampage.
No, I'm talking about from last year.
You're talking about from last year?
Yeah.
Last year. So they're not talking about from Rampage. They're talking about what you mean the match they had with each other?
No, the momentum. Like, okay, they said that Willow won the Bret Hart something or other.
Yeah.
And then Statlander.
I forgot all about that.
She was TBS champion. You know, so she doesn't have it anymore, but that is momentum you can build on if you capitalize it, and no one's going to capitalize on it for you. So they're just talking about having a good year and, you know, hopefully winning more stuff. That's all it was about.
Oh. So meaningless. All right. Because Tony Khan ain't going to allow that. Once you do good, you go away. Once you lose a big match, you go away. And we watched how Swerve Strickland scratched and clawed just like Ricky Starks to not go away. They had to fight. So next, on Collision, I had to write this. Ring of Honor Proving Ground match on AEW Collision. Genius booking to show Ring of Honor isn't worth their own title. It was Commander and Brian Keith versus the Undisputed Kingdom, which is Taven and Bennett, the Ring of Honor Tag Team Champions.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not defending the belts, but it's like if you win, you get a title shot.
Yeah.
But I can't remember. Ain't Proving Ground rules like if you lose, you just, you know, you don't get a shot at all? Because I was like, they done stuck these two together.
Yeah, if you lose, you don't get nothing.
Yeah, you just go up back into obscurity. I'm like, how you gonna stick two people together that, for all that we know, don't tag team to go against tag champions? You want to put someone against tag champions, you need to put people together that's been together.
They just want to feature the Undisputed Kingdom officially defending the ROH titles. Because, you know, they won them, but they was all, you know, they were putties.
Yep, they're no longer putties. And see to notice that Taven and Ben is wearing all black.
Yep. But Taven had on purple underwear.
There you go. And I was like, what? And then she got me for like 10 seconds looking at this man's ass trying to see some purple underwear. And I was like, what the hell am I doing? I'm like, what did she see? Let me see. It
was right in the back. At the very top of his tights, you can see a strip of purple.
I guess like Michael Jordan allegedly wearing his Carolina shorts under his, you know, Chicago Bulls shorts.
Wouldn't that be hot?
I would think so, but if they're that loose, probably wouldn't notice. But allegedly, I don't know. The Kingdom won with an aided net breaker and pin on Brian Keith, because you don't pin the champion. You pin the, how can I say, more experienced noob. Mm-hmm. Although Brian Keith looks like he is straight up professional.
Yeah.
You know, pacing, don't slip. He got his stuff together. So now we go backstage. Anthony Bowens gives the offer of obtaining higher goals by forming a larger faction with Bullet Club Gold. But Austin Gunn thinks it's a good idea. And when he spoke, I was like, who's that talking? I was like, why is his voice so deep in what the world? And, you know, CJ was like, that's his I'm thinking voice and stuff. I was like, you need to think more often.
Yeah, he's not jacked all the way up to the maximum. Just like when Menard he's out there commentating, somebody stepped to him. He's not all like, you know, I'm on crack. You know, he sounds like, look, just leave me alone. It sounds different.
Yeah, I like Menard on commentary because he sounds like he got brains.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what they would call themselves, you know.
Who?
I guess they'd all be Bullet Club Gold if they did this.
Then the Acclaim is not going to give up. The Bullet Club Acclaimed or something.
Yeah, I don't know. But I really do. I think Anthony Bowens has a good idea going on the company, AEW. Yeah, the only ones that's doing great are large factions, and that's how you get ahead. And you can see Jay White kind of like, I can't really deny that.
Yeah.
You know, so we'll just have to see
what happens.
We'll have to see. Just don't do super well, because then Jericho's going to latch himself onto you in a rivalry or try to join. Mm-hmm. And that's when it's going to, you got anyone with brains in that company's got to be like, okay, Jericho's under so many allegations that no matter what happens, we're going to get booed and I'm going to be hated by association. I got to stay away from you, bro.
That's why I need to send him home. Just pay him and let him stay home.
Yep. Now next, Adam Copeland, he comes out for a promo. He plans to get his rematch with Cage, so he makes an open challenge.
Yeah, he's gonna work his way back up to Cage.
Yep. Cole Carter, Griff Garrison, and Griff Garrison come out led by Maria Canales, and Griff, he comes out. He's from Winston-Salem, North Carolina, so quote unquote hometownish. So I was like, man, I'm glad it was said, but it's bad. But Adam tells Griff Garrison, like, you stepping up to me. You stepping from, he said, I like you, but you stepping from below sea level up to Mount Everest.
Yep.
And Garrison's like, bruh. So he just slaps the hell out of him.
Yeah.
And Adam says, it makes me like you more, but now I got to beat your ass. Mm-hmm. And commences to do so.
Commences to beat his ass.
It's a one-sided ass whooping. And
Griff tries.
Griff, no hiccups, no slips. The beating was making sense. All this other stuff, it was right. Copeland led this. It looked good. And then the Maria and Carter got involved. That turned the tide of the match. Griff gets on offense, and he looks good, not doing anything stupid. Keeps it more or less basic, but brutal. Love that. But after that, can only last but so long. And Adam Copeland gets the spear and doesn't finish him off. He applies his weird version of the crossface or Nagata lock, or from people that want to be like that, the crippler crossface. And he gets a submission with it. Then Carter attacks him from behind and then misses a Scorpio splash. Copeland rolls to the inside to evade that splash. But it seemed like he rolled into a face full of boots. And you could tell in his face, like, that won't fun.
Yeah.
But then he hit the spear and then leaves the ring in triumph. I wrote, this was a great showing that Griff can be a top contender. Mm-hmm. He's very slim. He's, whatnot. Yeah, I get that.
He's tall. He's lean. He's fit. He's got a little tone.
But when you're bowed up and you've got aggression, all that can go out the window.
Yeah.
And it was a good showing. I really liked it. And I know that the idea is to impress the boss, impress the bookers, and they can say, hey, we can work with this. We can do something with you. But that ain't this company. It ain't. And it's barely any company, really. And that's what was annoying me with the NWA. Because you see this great potential, and then they'd be like, no. I'm like, that was a great match, yada, yada, yada. But it is what it is. And, I can't do anything about it.
Yeah.
Backstage, Flair and Sting cut very enthusiastic promos that actually, they got me smiling. Darby Allin was silently marking out as well as trying to look like he was brooding about something, but he just couldn't.
Yeah, because that's his shtick. He broods and he's all self-deprecating and stuff like that. But there was so much enthusiasm pouring out of Sting and Flair. It would be impossible.
Did you just say he shit on himself?
Self-deprecating.
Oh, deprecating. I thought you said self-defecating. Okay. Like, what in the world, woman? Like, yeah, is what he do. Get used to it.
Just move on.
Okay, I was concerned. So next we get, damn it, it moved too far. I don't know where I am. Okay. What's the matter with you?
No, this is all you started. Did you say he should have?
I was concerned. I was like, okay, I'm trying to read. And I'm like, I know I heard. Okay. So we good?
Yeah.
You sure we good?
Yeah.
All right. So next we get Sky Blue versus Kiera Hogan. It was a good match. Cedar was highly impressed, but let me get through this first. Blue wins with the TKO, transitioned into the Dragon Sleeper, and I had to put it down here. 2 years ago, I created that very hold for my own wrestler, Pandul Obero, and I named it Charybdis. You know, and I'm like, they stole my shit. They stole my move. But
if they were giving out awards for the most drastic turnaround in AEW, Sky Blue would win.
Yes.
Because not only has she changed her entire look, she's changed her entire demeanor. She's gotten serious. She's gotten sinister, a little dash of creepy, and she understands the assignment. She is there to do business. She ain't getting paid by the hour. She's not getting paid for the stupid stuff. She is getting paid to do damage and hurt bitches. And it looks good on her. You can tell the change that Julia went through is the same metamorphosis that Sky Blue is going through. You can see that she's working with Julia and that she's receiving the same training, additional training that she's doing. She's cleaner, it's crisp, it's safe. She's not missing stuff by leaps and bounds, looking like she don't know where she is in the ring. Her body tone is even a little different. She's a little bit more shapely in her thighs. It's not just thick. It's like her body's getting shaped to it. And her forearms look better. They're more impactful. She got rid of that stupid kick she does.
So far, she's gotten rid of it.
And she's added a new finisher because the other finisher she was doing is like, it really is a babyface finisher.
It is, and it's annoying to see somebody sit there and wait for 5 seconds for her to do something.
But she is in there working like a hard-hitting technical wrestler, and I am there for it.
See, this is exactly how she felt about Tai Chi, but she don't want to admit that, though.
No, I've never felt this way about Tai Chi.
See, like she said just now, she never admitted that.
Never felt this way about Tai Chi.
Oh, you never felt that way?
Never felt that way about Tai Chi.
But you felt a way.
Yeah, I felt a way.
Okay.
That way.
We're going to get to the worst match of the week, including the pay-per-view. Good grief. If I was Castagnoli, I don't know if I would beat me up and my opponent or just my opponent.
Oh, yeah. Who did he wrestle?
He wrestled is Claudio Castagnoli versus Andrew Everett.
Oh.
Claudio won with the return Western Lariat and pin. Okay. Note, this is a long note. This was a sad and pathetic showing from Andrew Everett, who missed nearly every single move. When I say miss, I mean he didn't even come close. Claudio barely did anything to show a dodge, parry, or block.
The missing was so bad. Dude was finna come off the top turnbuckle, and you can see that the commentators, were loading us up for this, but you could see that Claudio's playing positive so he can come up with that big, huge lifting European uppercut.
Yeah, that's what I'm finna get into right now.
And dude jumped off with whatever he was trying to do.
Shooting star.
Okay. And he didn't get anywhere close to Claudio. He was so far away from Claudio that Claudio just decided to not do the move and just let him hit.
Yeah, that's what I wrote. I said on the shooting star, Claudio did nothing as Andrew over-rotated too far for Claudio to counter with a lifter. The crowd had already been taken out the match by then. It was like, we're trying, we just ew.
And we've seen Andrew Everett perform far better. Maybe he was nervous.
He could have been nervous.
Super duper excited.
Because usually, Everett is on point. Usually, I'm like, we watched him in Ring of Honor like I think 3 or 4 matches, and I saw him on GCW. I was like, this guy got something.
But those are much smaller houses,
and maybe he could have been nervous. Could have been anything. Yeah, the crowd was taken out of it halfway through this match. The crowd was like, I just don't care. I'm not going to overall judge Andrew Everett based on this match. That would be dumb.
He had a bad night.
That'd be so dumb.
He had a bad night.
I had a bad night. Who knows what it is. He looked like he was trying. You can see on his face like, I'm trying. But sometimes when a wrestler messes up, it's like hitting a wall. It just goes back and back to back because you're trying so hard to not mess up. You throw yourself off.
Throws off that internal timing.
So I feel bad for Andrew Everett. I'm really hoping put him on Rampage against somebody else and just let him chill. Just let him chill. That's what you do. Give him another chance. He'll show you what he can do.
Let him work a couple of Rampages and then maybe you can bump him up to Dynamite or something.
Yeah. So now we go backstage. AEW Tag Champions talk up a match that was all too telling. I was like, Bill, stop. Big Bill makes a match for next Collision against Sammy Guevara and Jericho in a street fight, which I don't know why.
I don't know why. Why does it have to be a street fight?
Now, Big Bill isn't doing, he's just promoting.
He's just reporting.
So this has already been made by
Tony Khan.
Yeah, Tony Khan and whomever else to do a street fight. So, however, this will only happen if they can get past some kind of match on Dynamite.
No, it's not. It's not. It's only gonna happen. It's gonna happen.
Hold up. He said, and you'll get your match if you can get past something that's supposed to happen Dynamite.
Yeah.
Then Big Bill closes with "See you on Collision."
Yeah, because there's Sammy and Starks are wrestling at Daly's place on Dynamite.
So Sammy and Starks is wrestling. So
yeah, it's not stipulatory. It's that whole I'm gonna whoop your ass so bad you ain't gonna make it to the next match. It's that thing.
That's what he's saying.
Yeah.
Okay, it didn't come across like that to me. I'm listening. I'm like, talk to me, and it's more like I'm talking as if you already know what I know, and I'm like, no, you can't do that in a promo. You can't talk as if the audience know what you know. You have to talk like they don't know jack. That's what you got to do because they don't.
That's what he was intending, and the mere utterance of Jericho, the whole arena booed.
Yep. Oh, they weren't happy. They were not happy at all, and I'm like, Jericho needs to go away.
He needs to go home.
Let him out his contract. And I get why Tony Khan would take up for Jericho financially. He's invested 10 years, probably 8 left now, in Jericho. And it's like, well, Kylie, you were going to get paid probably, $100K? And Jericho's getting millions. That's my investment. And it's like she had to sign a non-disclosure agreement. Problem is, she don't got to talk. The action alone. I'm there. Something went down. I left the wrestling business. Mm-hmm. And what happened with it? Something went down with Jericho, and I can't talk about it.
Something's profoundly wrong with your organization if somebody leaves and quits the entire business.
Yes. It's like people that commit suicide. They quit life. There ain't nothing wrong with them. It's clearly something wrong with life.
Yeah.
And nobody wants to fix that because that's more important than the individual. Instead of saying, what's wrong? How can we help? And then they say, this is what's wrong, and I wish somebody could save me. And they go, no, if we help you, that's going to disrupt all that. You got to go. That's the indictment. And that's what's in professional wrestling.
If we help you, we have to help everybody. And that's just not going to happen.
Yeah. Damn you. It sucks. and I don't agree with it. And I wish people were strong enough to not be so mesmerized by money, fame, and power and do the right thing. That's what I wish. Because then you wouldn't have jackholes running your company or having some kind of control.
Yeah.
So next we get to the big event. Now, this big match here, House of Black, is Brody King and Buddy Matthews. If it was Brody King, and what's his name?
It was Malachi
and Brody, yeah, Kings of the Black Throne.
But it's Malachi and Buddy, so they just House of Black.
Okay, it was Malachi and Buddy, right?
Yeah.
Okay, my bad. Why would I put Brody King? I don't know why.
Probably because I was asking for him.
No, this was in the beginning.
I was asking for him in the beginning.
Maybe that's what it was. You was asking for. I just heard that and just moved on. My bad. So Malachi and Buddy. I really wish they would.
It don't fit.
No, it don't.
Malachi Black, Brody King, Buddy Matthews.
Oh man, this sounds so meek. All Buddy Matthews is like, I'm not your buddy, pal.
Yeah, really.
But they're going against FTR, Cash Wheeler and Dax Harwood. Amazing match. Beautiful match. Beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
It pulls you in. The effort, the failings, the recovery, the fight.
They showed you fantastic tag team wrestling.
Yes.
Saving each other, keeping the others from getting the tag, cutting the ring off, diving to knock folks off the corner. It was wonderful.
Going on camera angles, coming out of nowhere for the save or the hit, a finisher. Everything was on point. This match was awesome. Harwood's daughter and wife was there.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, oh, now I got a face to the woman that was talking trash on this podcast.
Huh?
You know, and the one time I heard his daughter say something up there, and everyone loved that one because it was just adorable. He was like, I didn't know my daughter was right there. It's like, it was like I try to make sure I'm not saying anything, messed up. I was like, close your door, man. Close your door. Put some towels at the bottom of it. Do something. But, okay. So Brody King, he runs in to aid, and then he's followed by Daniel Garcia, who attacks Brody King.
With a chair.
Yep. Dax scores a reversal on Buddy Matthews from a power bomb. He had the high stack, and he just reverses that.
But wait a minute, you got to include, after Garcia attacks Brody with the chair, preventing him from interfering, Garcia stays out there and is cheering FTR on. Come on, guys, get in the ring. Come on, you can do it. Get in the ring. Banging on him. He's not interfering, but he is lending his boisterous support. Continue.
Yeah. I didn't include that because, one, I was typing, and two, anyone should do that.
But it's a setup for what you're going to say later. Keep going.
Okay. You see, this is why you need another half. So House of Black attacks. Wait, how you know what I'm saying? Anyway, House of Black attacks 3-on-3, gaining the upper hand quickly on an already battered FTR.
Yep.
During which Cedra is asking for Matt Menard to show up as Brody comes to the ring. Then Cedra asks for Menard to come to the ring when House of Black dominates the beatdown. And at the note, I have to admit, if Menard wasn't punked for a shoot, he'd have had his ass down there fighting the good fight. Clearly, he isn't going to do a damn thing because he's a bitch.
He's a bitch. Brody was right.
Like, no.
His boy is getting beat up. This is the perfect time for Matt Menard to come out, try to make the save, get a little get back at Brody King. Menard.
Bueller. Menard.
Bueller.
Conan.
Nobody. Nobody showed up. Okay. The only person that showed up was Julia Hart,
who was doing
to get the 10 bell salute to the recently departed
FTR. I was like, oh man. I love how she was holding the bell and ringing it. She had no enjoyment on it. She was like, I'm doing what I'm doing.
Mm-hmm.
Flowers for the dead.
Flowers for the dead.
Watch Quick Change if you want a good laugh,
yes,
okay?
And a good laugh.
It's a movie.
All the laugh. All the
Tony
laugh.
Shalhoub stole the show.
You're gonna be hurting.
Yes.
But yeah, apparently Menard's a bitch, and Julia Hart goes to climb in the ring, and Brody goes to open the ropes for her, even though, of course, he didn't have to. And they stand dominant over them.
And this is a heel thing to do. You lost the match, but you won the battle.
Mm-hmm.
And that's how you keep things going.
And humiliated dude in front of his family.
Yeah.
Dax.
Yeah. And you know what? This is what Dax wanted. Dax controls a lot more than you'll ever know.
Yeah, he's got good storytelling instincts.
Yes, and he and Cash led this match. Cash Wheeler is a natural born workhorse.
Mm-hmm.
That man in the ring, I'll be honest, I'm straight up. That's Perry Saturn, Dean Malenko, Chris Benoit, Eddie Guerrero. That's who that is. All rolled up into one damn amazing package. Cash Wheeler is, when I'm watching him, I can't help but be like, you can do it, man. I'm cheering him on. Dax, when he gets in the ring, it's the mustache. I look at I'm like, that's a badass. He about to do something.
Yeah, I don't think they don't look at his mustache.
But that's because you're too focused on Tai Chi.
No, I'm not focused on Tai Chi. The mustache that Dax wears looks like the mustache of a little janitor dude that used to pop on with Rocky and Bullwinkle. That way it would move on his own when he would be sweeping across. That's what it looks like.
You see, you hear how she just bury people all the time.
I'm not burying him. Dax is a fine wrestler. He's just got a Rocky and Bullwinkle mustache. What the hell? At least he ain't got a porn stash.
Yeah.
Roderick Strong is owning that right now.
Yeah. But yeah. I can't fight that. I can't fight that. I tried, Roderick. You leave me no choice. Look, that's gonna do it for us, everyone. We hope you enjoyed this. We had fun.
Yep.
Thanks for the comments and everything. So we're gonna get out of here. This has been CR Wrestling Commentary. Cedric and Cedra. Y'all be good, be warm, be safe, so that we can see you next time. Bye-bye.